Hello, I welcome you to another edition of your program, The Gallery. My name is Mercy Alexander, and our guest today is Mr. Gbadebo Rhodes. He's an architect, a politician, and also an entrepreneur. So sit, relax, and I'll be right back.
The Labour Party governorship candidate for Lagos State, Mr. Gbadebo Patrick Rhodes-Vivour, was born into the family of Barrister Olawale and Nkechi Rhodes-Vivour on the 80th of March 1983 in Lagos State, Nigeria. He is popularly known as GRV or the Hopeful Nigeria. Gbadebo is an architecture, a businessman, politician, and a husband to Dr. Ife Anebo, PhD, a molecular genetist. He had his first degree in architecture from Nottingham University and a master's degree from the prestigious Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Boston, in the United States of America. The university awarded him a distinction for his master's degree thesis, Traditional Revolution, Formalizing the Informal, a proposal for the periphery urbanites Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt, which focused on building a network of recycling facilities and garbage collectors in those cities to return waste into a significant source of income and employment. While still studying at MIT, he collaborated with the American and Chinese governments through the reconstruction of New Orleans following Hurricane Katrina and the Beijing Olympics respectively. After successfully completing his master's degree in 2018, he returned to Nigeria for his one-year mandatory youth service. He ventured into politics in 2017 by contesting for chairmanship of Ikeja local government under Kowa Party, and in 2019, at the age of 35, he won the ticket of the People Democratic Party (PDP) to contest for the Lagos West senatorial seat. On the 10th of August 2022, Gbadebo emerged as the Labour Party aspirant for the Lagos State Governor upcoming election after the campaign from PDP. GRV is the current Lagos State gubernatorial aspirant of the Labour Party for the 2023 after winning the ticket at the primaries. He is also the convener of Nigerians Against GMOs, an organization that advocates against the authorization and introduction of genetically modified foods into Nigeria, and a front runner in advocating for the restoration of history in the Nigerian school curriculums. He then proceeded to work for some of Nigerian top architecture firms, including Consultant Collaborative Partnerships (CCP) and Patrick Wahid Consultant, before establishing his own company to address the housing crisis in Nigeria by using creativity and unconventional construction techniques to build affordable housing in Nigeria. He is the founder of Spatial Tectonics and Services on the boards of Ahuda Construction Nigeria and Delta International Commercial City Limited. Gbadebo is a strong believer in Nigerian future, and he devotes himself to developing fellow young people to take on the mantle of leadership.
Welcome back. Hello, I welcome you to the gallery.
Happy to be here.
You're welcome. Now, quick one. Just of recent, your presidential candidate was here in Lagos. What was his impact of his visit?
Oh, he came to address the Lagos State Chamber of Commerce to talk to them about how his government would function in favor of businesses across Lagos State and across Nigeria as a whole, and what he would do to create an enabling environment and, answer a lot of their questions and concerns about the current state of Nigeria and where Nigeria needs to be for businesses to thrive in this country.
How do you manage being an entrepreneur and a politician?
It's not easy. It's very difficult, to be honest with you. In politics, especially in this season, your family takes a back seat, right? Mm-hmm. Your business takes a back seat because this thing is all encompassing. It's like marrying a first wife, right? And that's really what it is. But the wonderful thing about it is once you've engaged in politics and by God's grace you formed government, you can now be direct and you can manage your time a lot more because you're operating at your schedule for your aims and objectives. But with this, you're working based on an INEC schedule, and you need to, carry a lot of stakeholders along consistently and consult and work with party and build all of this consensus to be able to achieve success at the polls. Once you are in position, it's easier to manage your time. So that's the one thing to look forward to. But yeah, it's not easy, but thankfully I have experience. This is my third election that I'm contesting in, and I've built capacity over time. So I'm looking forward to a good campaign.
Your recent interview, you condemned the traffic offense in Lagos State. Now, what do you think the Lagos State government should do concerning whoever who violated the traffic offenses?
I said that the punishment must tally with the offense that is committed. It should not be punitive. You should not use these things as a means of generating revenue in such a way that is not sustainable, that makes people lose their means of livelihood. Especially when you consider how difficult it is in the economy now and for Nigerians as a whole to survive in this economy. We must have punitive punishments that make people adjust their behavior, but it should not be one that is so detrimental to their means of livelihood. So I feel that the law, being the law, should stand, but the law must be humane.
I'm still going to go back on the same question. In the same interview, you said Lagos State government are one of the breakers of traffic law. Can you share more light on that?
Oh yes, I mean, you find that these traffic offenses, the first people that you see, society sees doing these things are the political elite, they are the people in government, they are even the people that are supposed to be enforcing these laws. And it's from there that the public take their cue. You find that, like they say, when the head is rotten, the whole body is rotten. And that's the situation. A couple of days after this whole controversy became something online, you found that there were videos of Lasma taking one way as well. And because of the anger that the citizenry had towards the way people were punished, you found that they stood in the way of Lasma and said, you cannot go on this one way. Now the question is, are those cars going to be auctioned off?
Okay, now let's talk about the Commonwealth. That is a slogan in your party.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about this Commonwealth?
Okay, so the Commonwealth is a slogan in my manifesto. Okay. It's not a slogan in the party. We must separate the two. As long as you're a tax-paying member of society, you belong to the Commonwealth of Lagos. And as such, you are entitled to certain privileges that range from access to quality health care, access to medical insurance, access to affordable housing, and things that the government puts in place so that you have a direct benefit of the taxes that you pay.
Now, if you are given opportunity or if you win the election, what is that first thing you're going to change when it comes to Lagos State government?
The first thing is to ensure that we have a transparently run government in terms of our accounting, the way we do projects, the way we procure things. And in setting that up, you create a situation where the government now has to run a lot more efficiently because people now have access to how these funds that are being collected from the state and from the Commonwealth of Lagos are run. Right? That in itself creates a situation where a government cannot do a flyover at the price that it would cost to do 5, right? Because now it's more transparent, and that in turn allows for significant amounts of infrastructure to be built, because now we're functioning at an efficient, in an efficient way, at a maximum, quality, and the quality and the price as well, is the best that we can achieve. And that's what we'll take pride in as a government, that we're getting the best deals, using the best quality materials to construct, and delivering it in the minimum amount of time, so that people can actually start to benefit from it as soon as possible. I think if you ask the first thing I'll do, that's the first thing that one will do.
That's
And
it.
then secondly, it will be targeting traffic and congestion in Lagos State.
That's good. With the kind of leaders we have in the country right now, what do you think will become of the country in the next decade?
If we continue at the rate we are going, Nigeria will be an ungovernable state in 10 years. Right? Because you see, when you look at the financials of the country, you find that it's already a bankrupt country. It's a bankrupt nation. We are borrowing to literally consume. We are borrowing to pay our bills. A country that is so endowed with so many resources and human capital and human capacity is borrowing. And our population is increasing. No matter how many people flee the country, no matter how many people even die at the hands of Boko Haram or diseases, as a population, we are still growing, and we are projected to get up to 400 million in the next 30, 40 years. You need to put those people to work. You need to engage them in productive enterprise so that they are adding to society and they are engaged, right? So our GDP can rise and we can become a productive nation. If you don't do that, then you have a situation where you have a lot of people that don't have anything to do. And you know what they say, an idle mind is devil's workshop.
Yeah.
And that is what then creates situations where people then take government into their own hands. They now create their own form of government and enforce it with violence.
Let's talk about your growing up. Now, what was your ideology? What's shaping your ideology when it comes to politics?
So my idea about politics is fairness and social justice. Right? I grew up in a home, I won't call them activists, but my family, we're not people that just sit back and complain about things. We get engaged, we participate. You know, I have a family that is renowned for public service. From even before independence, my family produced the first African that was admitted into government to be involved in public policy. SB Rhodes, he was in the government of Bodilon. We have judges. He was the second Nigerian judge ever appointed in Nigeria, and since then produced a judge in every generation. So we are known for public service in the family. We're proud Lagosians, so we also value history and value the history of Lagos as well. So I guess if we talk about how one was raised, it was about ensuring that people, you know, that your privilege is not just for you, it's about creating impact, and impact for good, and building legacy. And legacy is something where, by virtue of what you are given or what you are exposed to, you can create and leave Nigeria or the field that you are in much better than you met it.
Okay, in your recent post, you said Lagos is not working.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Lagos is not working because for the last 20 years we've been slowly having slow incremental development. You find that people have still been sitting in 4-hour traffic every day on a daily basis. You find that flooding is still happening all over Lagos every year. You find that the government has not improved in a social contract or creating a social welfare net for the people of Lagos. You find that regardless of how much they continue talking about how IGR is increasing, the direct benefit to the citizen is not felt. You find that Lagos State has not become truly the center of excellence that it used to be. We must remember that Lagos State existed long before AD and 1999, and Lagos was called the center of excellence for a reason, right? There was a time where when you talk about cities in the world, you talk about New York, you talk about Lisbon, you talk about Lagos as well. Now Lagos has been ranked consistently as one of the worst cities to live in. This was not the case before. So Lagos is not working, Lagos is not run accountably, Lagos is not run efficiently, and Lagos is not delivering service and enabling the business economy the way it ought to.
I'm sorry, among the contestants, when it comes to the gubernatorial contestant in Lagos State, you happen to be the youngest among them. How do you feel being among the godfathers and you happen to be the youngest? How do you feel?
I don't feel, I've been privileged, I have to admit. I ran for Senate Lagos West. That's the largest central district in Nigeria by population at 35. And I got a lot of encouragement in the party that I was. And I found that leaders and elders took me seriously. I've always been taken seriously. So I cannot say that I felt any negative sort of experience. And that's my honest truth. Yes, there will always be questions about your capacity. Do you have the heart to be able to do it? So it's on you to show that you're serious and you have the heart, the persistence, the courage to stick with it and see it through. And that is what anybody will ask of you. So in that regard, and also, 39 is not, it looks young because people that are in power want to hold on to power and take it into their graves, right? So that's why when you put yourself next to the people that are contesting for president, for instance, you look young. But really, all these people came into position at my age, 39, 40, early 40s. That's when they got into government. That's when they got into political position. You look at, from Gowon, who was a president in his late 20s, entering into his 30s. So most of the leaders that we have today, they got into position when they were young. And you find that leadership, right, must reflect the largest demography of the population. Because at a certain age, you have the pulse of what society is saying today and what society is saying in the future, right? It's like running on analog when you're in a digital world. And yes, age is not everything. There must be cerebral capacity, there must be intellect, there must be empathy, there must be resourcefulness. And there must actually be a genuine desire for the good for your people. It's not just because you are young, right? There must be other things that come with it as well.
Now, all over the country, not Lagos basically, we have a lot of some of our youths, let me say majority of them, go into this cybercrime. What do you have to say concerning that?
So you find, I've seen documentaries where people show that Nigerians, and this is not just in Nigeria, India, there are huge levels of cybercrime and lots of parts of Asia. But let's just look at Nigeria. They will tell you that Nigerians are some of the most sophisticated cyber criminals in the world. For us as a government, I think if this was happening in England, the British government, the MI6, will reach out to these people and take all that energy, take all that skill, and apply it to something else.
Positive.
Something positive, something productive, something in the interest of the country. And that is what us as a government will be doing. You see, like for instance, if an American government finds somebody that is a skilled forger, or they find somebody that is a skilled, hacker, they find ways to bring that person to government to work on that side and work in their interest. And that's what we as a government should be doing. There's so much that technology and innovation has to offer Nigerians, and we must be trying our best to increase our capacity in that regard and create an alternative means for people to make a livelihood, not cybercrime and not cheating people out of their life savings, and also creating a situation where businesses can no longer thrive because now everybody looks at Nigerians with the fraud sort of mindset. So legitimate businesses that want to do business, for instance,
they are not allowed.
They're not allowed. They can no longer go to business and do business in Dubai because of the bad reputation that people are bringing to the country. So we must engage this because the opportunity cost to us as a nation and to us as a state is way too high.
What are your advice for Nigerians?
In 2023, we have a chance to truly take Nigeria back and hand power back to the people. We have a chance to redefine what politics is. We have a situation where my party has presented a candidate that has integrity, that's highly cerebral, that has vision, and has the youthful energy to actually handle the rigor of governing a country like Nigeria. And we've shown that it's no longer just okay to be able to dance on a stage or to be singing. You must have vision. You must truly have something to offer Nigerians. And it cannot just be people that sat down in a room and did research and came up with policy for you. You must have antecedents. You must not have baggage. We've gotten to a place in this country where the people that are coming, that were throwing up, are people that have used power, used position to influence their wealth and influence gathering wealth for themselves. And we need to move away from that. We need leaders that are not tied to any corruption or scandal or baggage. And I've shown that when they have given position, they work in the interest of their people. And that's what we need moving forward. So Nigerians must seize this opportunity. They must go pick up their cards. Those that are registered, they must ensure that they pick up their cards. And they must ensure that they come out on that day and cast their vote for a new Nigeria, a Nigeria that will work for them and put them first.
Thank you so much. It was really an interesting time having you.
Thank you.
On the gallery, and so we're looking forward to a better election.
Yeah.
And we hope to see you there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm grateful.
We have just come to the end of today's program. I'm sure you have learned one or two things from our guests today. I still remain your host, Mercy Alexander, and don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles. Bye and have a wonderful week.